2016. If you want to follow us on Twitter, please go to CATEX TV. There will be no broadcast on Monday, May 30th, 2016. The United States is observing Memorial Day. It's a federal holiday. For the first time, researchers in the United States have found an American carrying bacteria resistant to antibiotics of last resort. U.S. public health officials say that this could mean the end of the road for antibiotics. The antibiotic-resistant strain was found last month in a 49-year-old Pennsylvania woman. According to health authorities, the strain of bacteria she had is resistant to the antibiotic colistin. Colistin is an antibiotic of last resort. It's used for particularly dangerous types of superbugs, including a group of bacteria which health officials have dubbed nightmare bacteria because they can kill up to 50% of the people who have them. This is the first time, said Thomas Frieden, who's the director of the CDC. It basically shows us that the end of the road is not very far away for antibiotics. We may be in a situation where we have patients in our intensive care units or patients getting urinary tract infections for which we do not have antibiotics. He urged scientists to begin to develop other means of protecting people. Search teams looking for the flight recorders of the EgyptAir crash plane in the Mediterranean had picked up a radio signal from an emergency locator transmitter. It's not an emergency signal from the actual black boxes, but it does come from a transmitter in the rear fuselage where one of the black boxes is located. The detection of the signal could help narrow the search area to about a 3-mile radius in the Mediterranean Sea. All 66 people on board EgyptAir Flight 804 were killed on May 19th when the plane crashed. Sony has revealed that the damages suffered in the April Kumamoto Japanese earthquake could cost them about $1 billion in profits. They're saying they're going to see weaker than expected profit growth for this year, since one of its factories was badly damaged and had to stop production of its smartphone cameras. Sony said it only expects to recoup about $91 million of the $1 billion lost, mainly from property damage to the factory, but this does not include yet any business interruption payout that the company could get. In addition to Sony, companies that will be filing for business interruption claims are expected to include Mitsubishi, Fujifilm, Bridgestone, Honda, and Toyota, all of which had factories or production plants in the area which were shut down on a temporary basis. An engine fire broke out on a Korean Air 777 as it was about to take off from Haneda Airport in Tokyo earlier today. 7 people may have been injured. It took about an hour for firefighters to extinguish the blaze. There were 302 passengers and 17 crew members on board. TV images show that firefighters blanketed half the side of the plane with a white foam while passengers were coming down the emergency chutes. Flight 2708 was headed to Seoul. Michael Millette's startup fund manager, Hudson Structure Capital Management, has launched after securing a $250 million investment from Blackstone. Sources said that Blackstone has now committed the seed capital, which was split evenly across Hudson Structured Finance's reinsurance and transport structured finance funds, making up about half the total of the expected $500 million capital base that Millette has targeted. The new company, which is not so new now, it's about a year old, but it's taken a bit of a time to get off the ground, was backed by former Goldman Sachs banker Michael Millette and ex-PIMCO portfolio manager David Andrews. The company's emphasized that it will target a relatively greater market share of non-cat business. It's looking at casualty and life and health risks. Japan has ordered car makers to recall up to 7 million more vehicles equipped with the rupture-prone Takata airbags. This raises the number of domestic recalls in Japan to just about 20 million. It adds to the nearly 70 million cars or vehicles that have been recalled in the U.S. for the same reason. The airbags have faulty inflators that could cause the propellant to ignite, spraying shrapnel inside the vehicle. 11 people have been killed so far, at least that have been statistically indicated to this so far in the United States. And the United Nations has reported no new Iranian violations of the landmark nuclear deal that Tehran signed last year with the 6 world powers that limits its atomic development. In a confidential report obtained by the Associated Press, the IAEA says as well that Iran has corrected one infringement noted back in February by reducing its heavy water supply to the allowed limit. So now the Iranians are in full compliance with the agreement. I wonder what else will be discussed during the American presidential election, since it seems they're adhering to the agreement in good faith. That's the news for today. We wish everybody a pleasant weekend, and we'll see you again on Tuesday. Thank you for watching.